Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Traveling Gun. My name is Thomas. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. To all my returning subscribers, thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. As you read by the title, I was homeless in Venice for a while, and this is true, and I'm gonna tell you about it. And this is just a little story time and tell you a little bit about my trip, just a little smidget about my trip. But I'm gonna start from the beginning. The first day of my vacation, I went to Verona, Italy, and enjoying myself. And I noticed that I paid for a VRBO apartment in Venice. And the reason why I went with an apartment and not a hotel was because my mom, granted, some hotels do have breakfast, but if you don't know anything about Italy, they don't eat the traditional breakfast that we eat here over in America, in the United States or other places. It might be like a espresso, a croissant, a cannoli or something like that. And my mom, that's not going to be enough for her. So she needs her full balanced breakfast. So that is the reason why we stay in Airbnbs and Verbos. And I paid for it, looked at the reviews. The reviews are fine. There was only like a few negative reviews about like how fast the internet was going, in which that doesn't bother me whatsoever. Everything else was like, it's clean, it's this, it's that. And I was like, cool. So I purchased it, didn't think nothing of it. Enjoying my time in Verona, and then I started thinking like, dang, I haven't heard from the host in Venice about the apartment. And so I reached out to him, sent him a message, let that marinate for a while. And as we got to the end of the day of our last day in Verona, I checked again, still no callback. So I reached out to Verbo and told them what the situation was. They reached out to him and they said, we'll send him a message, just give it to, a few more hours. So I was like, I'll give it to him in the morning on the way, by the time we leave. Hopefully, it was just a mistake. He didn't forget about it. He just things happen, So we get up that morning, check my messages. There's no message from him whatsoever. I'm on the phone with Verbo as I'm trying to get ready to pack. Well, I packed that night, but just trying to make sure we didn't leave anything to get on the train to go to Venice. Get to the train station while I'm still on hold with Verbo. The train is delayed. That's already a bad start to my day already. And just sitting there waiting. And I don't know if you know anything about trying to make a call when you're out of the country back into the country. It's not, the cell service is spotty. It's not going to work all the time. So I'm getting transferred, call drops, or I'm on hold for a long time, and then all of a sudden the call just dropped, or it's just dead air whatsoever. So I figured by the time we get to Venice, hopefully the host would have had sent the message. And the entire hour and 45-minute ride from Verona to Venice, I was on the phone with Verbo customer service because I kept getting dropped or transferred to the wrong department and having to repeat the same thing. Even when I said, I know what department I need to, can you transfer me to this department? They still wanted me to repeat the story over and over again. So at that point, I was already a little bit upset for the simple fact of, like, my plans are just kind of like ruined because I'm spending my time having to try to figure out where we're going to stay because this host is not responding to anybody. And, it was to the point to where I was like, man, I'm ready to go. Let's just get on the next flight out tomorrow, find somewhere to stay tonight, and just leave. And luckily, I had plenty of time to think about my decision before I was like, it's final. Because what happened was, Verbo said, we're going to give you your money back. Here's a list of hotels, which was only 3 hotels that you can stay at for tonight. It's in the same area. You pay for it, but we'll reimburse you once you send us the receipt and all this, stuff. Then they said they'll call me the next day to try to reach out to help me find other apartments to stay in the same area or in Venice whatsoever. Me being proactive in who I am, I already looked for that. Everything was like $700 or better. Even the hotels were like $250 a night. That was way over. I could have paid for it, but it would have put me over budget for what I wanted to do as far as my budget goes in life, not just for the trip, just my whole budget in life. And it was just like, I'm a numbers person. So I'm like, if I pay for this, it's going to come from this, and all this other things like that. And I'm not one of those type of people that will compromise my lifestyle where I live and other bills that need to be paid, or money that I have set aside for this to enjoy myself, when I don't need to pay for that, if I can find something a little bit cheaper. You know, that's just how I am. Now, everybody is different. I'm not saying you're wrong. You do what you want to do for your life. But we looked at these 3 hotels. Okay, obviously we had to go with the one that had breakfast because, again, I was with my mother. She needs that breakfast, and I wasn't finna deal with somebody angry because they hungry. So all 3 of the hotels were hotels that I probably would have never stayed in. Neither one of us would have paid for them to stay in. So we picked the one hotel with the breakfast. It looked like, if you've seen Sister Act, it looks just like the room that Whoopi Goldberg stayed in. Had the cross on in between the beds and 2 twin size beds. No TV, no refrigerator, just a shower, a toilet, and a bed. Now, granted, I will tell you this. Those beds were comfortable. It was just small because they were twin beds, but it was comfortable and it was clean. And the hotel cleaned our, well, they didn't clean our room. They made our bed and brought us new towels each day that we were there. So, and I say each day because we eventually ended up saying we were just going to stay there for the rest of the trip because we didn't want to lug our luggage around Venice anymore, because it was already a struggle getting it from the train station to the hotel where we were staying at, which it was only like 10 minutes away, but it still was a struggle because if you've ever been to Italy, and I can only speak for Venice and Verona because those are the only 2 cities I've been to, it's not like smooth paved roads. It's like uneven bricks and rocks. So it's not the easiest thing to navigate on the streets pulling luggage. And we already had bought things in Verona, so our luggage was a lot heavier than what we started with. So we just was like, we're gonna thug it out, let's stay here, and it is what it is. So that's what we ended up doing. We ended up staying there, but I ended up wasting the whole day because we didn't get to the hotel until 5 o'clock because I was on just sitting at the train station for almost 2.5, 3 hours waiting on Verbo to get back with me. So I wasted a whole day, and that's why I was really upset. And I didn't get to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do. I tried to do as much of it as I could, but a lot of things were closed because they're closed on certain days, and that's why I chose to go on certain days. And, you know, then even though I was there for 3 days in Venice, the second day I went to Vicenza to see my cousin. And I didn't want to vlog that because it was a personal moment. I haven't seen my cousin since I was 18 years old. And the reason I haven't seen him since I was 18, there's an 11-year difference between us. So I went off to college. He was still in school. And, you know, he was always with his dad during holidays. So when I came home for holidays, you know, his mom's side of the family is how we're related. He was always with his dad. So I haven't seen him. And this is the first time any family has visited him since he's been over in Italy for 7 years. First time I got to see his son. First time I saw his wife. You know, his wife met anybody on his side of the family, you know, in person, I should say. And also, you know, my cousin, well, I didn't tell you all this, but in May, my cousin was murdered. His brother was murdered. And, you know, it was kind of one of those things we was just kind of had a personal moment over that. And, you know, just a kind of tearing up moment for that situation there. So I didn't vlog that because it was, like I said, a lot of things I don't vlog because it's very, very personal to me. And, you know, I know people on YouTube overshare. I do overshare some things, but then there are a lot of things that I like to keep private. Like I said, I didn't even tell him. He doesn't even know I do YouTube, so I didn't even ask him because I didn't even want it to be that tight. But I did vlog the last day that I was in Venice. Just be patient with me. The vlog it wasn't first person like I normally do with my flight attendant vlogs. So I'm gonna have to narrate this. I was recording a lot of things, so I don't really know what I truly have until I get all the stuff and put it on the computer and then sort it out. So be patient with me. It is coming. So this was my story time. This is what happened to me while I was in Venice. And like I said, you don't know that these things are gonna happen. And sometimes it happens to some people, you know what I'm saying? I never thought it would happen to me, but it did. I figured it out. Even though I did waste an entire day of my vacation, I still enjoyed it. It's nothing against the people of Venice, they were very lovely. Like I said, I enjoyed my time. The people were as friendly as possible as they can be. They were helpful, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed my time. I want to thank you all for watching. So be on the lookout for that. I will definitely let you all know. But it's going to take me some time. So I don't want y'all to think it's going to come next week, because that's not possible. It's not going to happen that way. But I do want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, hug on the ones that you love. Tell the ones that you love them. I'm out.